back to another fun episode of Walk the Talk with Balbeer. Today I have a very lovely couple here who know each other since 25 years, Shilpa and Sameer from Studio Osmosis. Hi Shilpa, hi Sameer.
Hi, Balbeer.
Welcome to
Hi,
Walk the Talk.
Balbeer. How are you doing?
I'm good, thank you. How are you guys doing?
Good.
Good. Very
So
good.
you guys know each other since 25 years, yeah? So
Makes us sound old, right?
not at all. You guys don't look old at all. It's just a number, but 25 years from like college and then your architecture and what is it like?
Yeah. So Sameer and I went to undergraduate college together here in Bombay,
Okay.
and then we did our masters together, 1 year apart. We were also living and working in the US for a while. So yeah, it's been a nice long journey, full of
Yeah. And we decided to come back and do what we're doing.
Wow, that's lovely. So we are in an apartment which is made by y'all
Yeah.
at World Crest.
Yeah.
And this apartment looks really beautiful. Like it's just like newly made.
It's been a while. It's been about 5 years.
Yeah.
It's been about 5 years since we built this.
yeah. It's
place.
almost actually this was the first apartment in Worldcrest, and since then we've made a few
Yeah.
of them.
It really looks new. I must say, it's really done up well and very well maintained too.
Thank you. so
Beautiful,
much.
yeah. So, Studio Osmosis, how is it? How does it go with your practice? Like, what is the idea of, this name behind your practice? Or
So we both Shilpa and I we worked in the US for 6 years before in 2008 we decided to come back. So our entire while we were there, our entire dream was that we'll come here and start our own practice. And everything that we had learned, we just wanted to sort of bring it here and try it out and do what we really want to do and design and just enjoy the process of designing. And we were, I think, just sitting and having dinner one day, and we were like, okay, you know what, we need to call ourselves something. What do we call, or what do we name our firm? And we were like writing down names and everything. And then I think uh, she came up with the idea that why don't we call our firm Studio Osmosis?
So, osmosis, as we all know, is actually a very scientific, chemical kind of a term. But if you look at the entire gist of it, it is actually all about just absorbing, fusing, and then sort of, filtering out. And what we realize is that exactly is what our philosophy for our firm that, we would want to sort of have it as a timeless name for a long time to go. So the idea was to sort of take, uh, you know, ideas, look at the site, look at the context, everything about the client or the user, because we were not limited to say
Mm.
a home or a residence or a restaurant. We knew that we wanted to kind of do very different genres, and the idea was that any project that you do, this philosophy kind of stays the same, where you are basically collaborating with the client, the end user, or the people who are going to actually experience the space. And then you're going to take all these ideas, filter it into one sort of common philosophy, which would be our aesthetic that we are kind of giving back to them.
so that whole thing, the meaning of that is osmosis.
Yes.
Yes.
Wow.
So basically, a chemical reaction has been transformed into our own language,
Architecture and design
which
language.
we have given it a bigger, larger meaning,
Of
which
course.
is also the our philosophy at the firm. I think it's a lot about listening and storytelling. So you might have 10 ideas of what you want, but when you tell us, we listen, and what we can give out is a cohesive product, which is which imbibes the quality of the 10 or a few, but something which resonates. So you relate to it. So I think that as a process is very ingrained in our firm and the method we work.
Lovely. So you guys have even done, hospitals.
Yeah.
That's right.
So
That's awesome.
Shilpa actually, when she has done her masters in healthcare and planning.
So, before I ever wanted to be an architect, I was very, very interested in medicine, and the allied stuff. And so I kind of wanted to combine both these passions. And I always found healthcare very, very interesting in terms of planning, and how you get into all the technical aspects, and yet sort of always looking at the well-being of the patients or the user or even the staff. And what I feel is that, whatever I've learned in healthcare is something you can actually apply in hospitality, education, pretty much all the wings. So the idea is that, even though I did the masters in that, we kind of got lucky, and when we came back, we landed a few hospitals that we did, and it was actually mother and child hospitals.
Okay.
So, and literally the brief was that, why should it feel like a hospital? It should be like a hotel, right?
Yeah.
An experience of giving birth should not be anything less than sort of enjoying those 5 days that, both the parents, the family is actually spending there. And so that was how these spaces came around. The hospitals that we designed were also about giving them the best memories of those 5 days that you're going to
course.
remember for a lifetime.
I feel like guessing the name of the hospital, but is it in the suburbs or this side?
So
Is it
it's
in
called
Bombay?
Motherhood and Cloud9. We worked on these, which we've done in Bangalore, we've done in Gurgaon.
So Cloud9 is in Bombay as well,
Yes.
isn't it?
But yeah, we've done the
We've
one
done
in
the- we,
Gurgaon.
we worked on the project in Gurgaon.
Because I was going to tell you, this was my guess.
Yeah.
I was like, can I guess? Because I was quite sure it's Cloud9 because I've heard about this being a very, very
Experiential,
friendly
yeah.
experience, a hospital which is very comforting.
Right.
Doesn't give you that scare of being in a hospital.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, which is what is important, right? I mean,
Of course. Oh my God. Oh, definitely. So you guys you're living abroad, and did you study there or you just moved there to work? Like,
Both. We did our masters there, and then
From
we worked
where?
there. So we both did our masters from Texas A&M University, and then we worked briefly in Boston, and then in Houston. She worked at healthcare firms. I was working in large residential high-rise firms, and then we decided one day, I think it's time to move back. That's it.
And let's get the osmosis
Yep.
going.
Yeah,
yeah,
pretty much.
much.
Pretty much that was it.
So we came back, I think, with literally just the name and what we wanted to do, but there was no other plan. We just came back with like no jobs, nothing. We traveled Europe for a month and a half. We went to Alaska.
Yeah.
We did all these things, and then we came back in
Backpack.
2008. The market had crashed that year. The entire world was going through, the 2008 crisis, and it was interesting. We were here.
Lovely. I mean, that was like a full restart, right?
Yeah, it was pretty much starting from scratch.
So you've done hospitals, you've done residences.
We've done retail. We've done
Restaurants.
we've done
Malls.
offices, mall.
Actually, yeah, osmosis is the best name that could have been.
Can I name
selected.
the next few things that we want to do so it just gets manifested here?
Please go ahead. I'd love to hear.
Like museums, school.
Yeah, schools is one thing that we really would love to do. I think there's so much in education that can be offered. I mean, everyone wants a better education, but it's also a better place
Correct.
for learning, and I think also unlearning a couple of things. And I think that is design plays such an important role in that.
Correct. So what do you think about, all that you're doing? The process of documenting everything. What do you think about that? Like, do you believe in the process of documenting all your projects?
100%. I think while we were in the US, we've seen the process of how they work, right from process and documentation. So there's a method in how they work, and a project, the method of how to document. Uh, while we initially started, trying to work that way, or with our growth on the projects were because we started at a very nascent stage. The projects were smaller, and as we became bigger, and as we are handling better and more projects, we are developing processes where it's essential for the firm to have a process and a level of documentation, because you will learn from your own mistakes. Unless you do not document what your mistakes are or what you've learned, you will not be able to learn. You won't be able to grow. It's a or just accepting what you've done. I mean, there are going to be moments where you are really happy with what you've done and you really like it, or be ready for some critical analysis and just accept it and sort of learn that the next project is going to be better than this one. So
Correct.
you'll never have your best project. It's still yet to come. And I think in the larger picture, the process and documentation now is more essential as we are moving ahead. It is not just on just the designers. It's a responsibility of all the stakeholders. So all the people that we are going to work with, whether it's a contractor, whether whoever the vendor is, larger manufacturers, they are equally part of the process and documentation. Because in the end, if we are designing a home or we are designing anything, it could be a product to a large infrastructure project. It's not just us alone. It's a combination of all the brands and all the industries who are putting their vested interest in the project to make the project good. So processes become and documentation becomes important for each and every person or each and every member who's associated with the project.
True. And this is something I've learned also from my healthcare days. There's something called post occupancy analysis. You're also taking feedback from your clients, you're also taking feedback from the users, you're also taking feedback on the next project that you will see. For us, most of our work is all repeat clientele who keep coming back to us, and I'm sure the next time they meet us, they may say, you know what, last time was wonderful, let's add this also to the layer this time, or let's change the scale this time to this. So there's always, once you have A documented, you can add B, C, D to it. And I also think that while we are doing this, now that we are 2 decades in the industry, it is also about mentoring. And, the next generation that is there. I know that everything right now is all about Instagram and visuals and social media, and you cannot run away from that aspect of documentation, that, everything is a visual, which is just an image. But I think the technical documentation, or the actual sort of analysis, is also a very important layer that everybody in the current generation needs to know, like what really went behind these pretty pictures, and what was the whole process. Like if it's a year worth of work or 3 years worth of work, how do we sort of put it down into a book or
Correct.
a guide or whatever?
And it's a constantly evolving process. The entire documentation system, the way we used to document it earlier, could have just been with the drawings that we did and some photographs on the site and a little diary of what we learned. But moving on, I think it needs to be a little more systematic, because we are consciously now moving in an age where uh, it's extremely fast, it's extremely methodical, and things only need to get more methodical. And the degree of collaboration is also increasing. It is not one person does it all. I mean, it's okay to say, will you partner with me on this, and they'll be like, yes, let's do it. So for that, there are varied kind of processes that needs to be developed, and I think we are kicked with the entire idea that we need to do this. And we have, I mean, just we are developing these systems, discussing within the firm, discussing with all our fraternity and peers, how. And I think it's become a lot more open to get feedback from your peers, from your seniors, from senior architects, from and see also how the youngsters, the young generation is
Function.
working. It's just interesting. So it becomes, the like the book, The World is Flat. Everything is on the similar platter. So everyone learns from each other. So then there is no mistake made later on.
Correct. And there's nothing like, if you don't remember what you had done.
Yeah.
So like you've done this project 5 years ago. So if these guys are wanting an upgradation, so it becomes easier
Yeah.
when you have everything
Definitely.
documented. So do you have
100%.
any such plans who have come to you? Okay, okay, you know what?
Yeah,
Yeah,
Yeah.
we've done.
yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
We've done a project where we've done the house, and then few years later they said, we just want to upgrade this particular room, will you do it? And we said, yeah, why not? I mean, the whole process of design is you build relationships.
Yeah.
And in relationships, not everything is rosy, right? I mean, there are good relationships and there are okay, but I mean, there we are just blessed with the fact that we have we have got, you know, we are blessed with more smiles than frowns, and I think that is what is more important.
Of course, always, always. But compared to, if it's residential versus hospitality, what's your take on that? What would you prefer and why?
So, it's not so much about preference. I think it's a lot about actually having them both together parallelly. For us, actually, both of these are of a lot of interest. Having said that, hospitality runs on a much uh, different parameter versus residence. For example, if I'm building homes, whether it's bungalows or villas or even just city homes,
Apartments.
yeah, yeah, they're always made for the people living in the house. It is personal. Your home is going to be personal to you. My home's going to be personal to me. Yes, you're always entertaining friends and family, and but that's again your personality. So it's so much about who you are. And so for us, when you're doing homes, you want to get into literally the lives of the people of every space, of that house. uh, Having said that, when you come to a restaurant space or a hospitality space, it's so much about that experience that is created for those many hours, and then wanting to kind of bring the people again, right? When you go to a restaurant, what is really giving you that wow? It is all the five senses. It's the food, it's the ambiance, it's the mood that is created, it's obviously the people that you're with. So it's got to be each of these factors.
Correct.
And design plays a very important role in that, not just by the physical space, but the sounds, the smells, the textures, all of that. But again, this is for a bunch of different kind of people. It could be, quiet personalities to personalities who are social to all kinds. So you have to design for many more personalities here versus like a house.
Yeah, like I simply put, for us, designing a residence versus designing a hospitality or a commercial project is like running a race. Hospitality and commercial is like a 100-meter dash.
Yeah.
You know, when they say go, you just have to finish it.
Yeah.
And the true test is the residential, which is like a marathon. It goes on. It tests your patience. It
Patience.
tests
I was
your
going to say
your
that.
time. But it's the test. You know, you last that stretch, but then there is whole bunch of experience that you get when you do a residential project. For commercial, it's just move on, next one, next one. You do this, next one. So it's all about finishing on time and moving ahead. But the experience that you get in a residential or a larger format project, because it goes on for so long, you see the same thing again and again. You go back and make some changes, come back, you're thinking about it again. So it's just completely different. So it's the adrenaline rush when you do a hospitality restaurant. You get it, you do it, you finish, move on. Residential is let's
And what's
so it's
important is that in that, that 100-meter dash, you still created an impact.
Yeah.
Because otherwise, that, the restaurant is not going to be of any sort of value if they were not able to bring in the right customers that the client really wanted, or if it's a hotel or, any of the F&B spaces.
Correct. So, taking from your love for travel and culinary experiences, what's your favorite destination and what's coming up
You opened a Pandora's
Pandora's
box
box.
here. The list is very long.
next?
So both of us love traveling, and I think like in the 25 years we've done all kinds of travel, be it mountains, beaches, architecture, hardcore backpacking, luxury trips. I mean, you name it, and it's all there. Like treks, camping. So yeah, we are also extreme adventure people. Uh,
That's awesome, huh?
so I think that's the rush. The next thing is like I want to bungee dive somewhere.
Yeah, and I just want to run away on my motorcycle. So,
Is it? So, you're a biker.
yes.
But yeah, I think one of the recent travels that we really enjoyed was Spain. I think just the whole experience of the warmth of the country, the colors, the architecture, the food, the culture, and everything, how it just came together. Also, kind of going between cities to smaller towns and rural
Yeah.
areas, and how beautifully it weaves everything. I think that's something we really
The
enjoyed with our son.
churches, the palaces,
Yeah.
Yes.
there's something else, huh? In
Yeah.
Spain. Totally unexpected.
Yeah, and of course, I mean, Gaudi's architecture, nobody can,
Yeah.
whether you like it or you don't like it, it is there, and you
And it's
just,
wow.
it's wow. So,
So are you guys foodies or you just, are
Oh.
like,
yeah, we love trying out new restaurants, new experiences. I think like when we go to a city, we start looking out for, the world's top 50 bars in the place or whatever. So that's us.
so what's brewing next at Studio Osmosis?
So a lot of interesting things we are doing. We are doing second homes in Lonavala. We are also doing large residential, bespoke residential projects. We are currently doing a restaurant. We are currently doing a large office space. Uh, we so I think we've got a mixed bag. And looking forward, I think we are, putting all our energy in getting projects out of town. We've done a lot of projects pan India, but since COVID, we sort of looked at a little more, narrowed our attention only in the city. But I think we are looking now to better and bigger and better projects outside the city as well.
Yeah, and I think now like he said earlier, the world is flat. It's easy to, be in one city, do work in another city. Like we've done homes in Calcutta, we've done restaurants in Bangalore. We're actually doing a villa in Ahmedabad, sorry, in
Anand,
Anand right now. So,
Where's Anna?
Gujarat.
Gujarat.
Yeah. So I think it's become much easier to reach different places, and I think the opportunities of scale and different typologies are great when you expand the geographical
Hmm.
sort of expanse also.
So when it comes to luxury, what's your take on luxury designing?
I think the whole aspect of luxury can be looked at it in two ways. In literal sense, what luxury is something very tangible. What you can afford. I mean, I have the money, I can afford it, and it's luxury. But at some point, true luxury, in our opinion, is something that you enjoyed when you were a child, and now you don't have it or the time to you know really enjoy it. And it's just taking a walk at the beach, or just breathing fresh air, or just listening to birds chirping. And to us, I think that is a sort of luxury that we miss. And our endeavor is, that what is luxury to means very different to different people. And to us, luxury is having the tangible and intangible at the same time, and sort of saying that to some people, I have arrived here means a lot of money and wealth. And to some, I have arrived here could also mean just mental calm, and just the sense of being in the present and enjoying today. uh, Given the chaos that we are all around, the traffic, the noise, the honking, the pollution, everything around you, but you come to a place, and you're just blessed with uh, the luxury of just having your own space, and just being calm. And I think that is luxury for us.
And I also think, like for me personally, uh, it is about spending quality time with whomever you love or you want to spend time with, or making new friends, and all of these happen in spaces which are conducive to this. And that's exactly what luxury should be. I mean, be it in a restaurant, be it in a hotel, be it in your own home or a lovely terrace. If I have the greenery around me, you're seeing a lot of plants, you're seeing fresh air, like he said, that's the perfect environment to spend
He
good
also
times.
said that, when Shilpa is around, I don't have to do anything. That is luxury.
Yeah, I just have to put my feet on the table and say, That's it.
Or run away on the bike.
Yeah.
No,
Or
but
the opposite. Or she's there and I'll be running away on the bike. Yeah.
yeah, no, but when you said that, when she's there, I don't have to do anything. So what did that actually mean? Because it's a compliment to her.
No, I think between the two of us, I think I'm more of a dreamer. I mean, I think too much, and she's the woman of who makes decisions, and she's, I mean, obviously, but she's more resolved in her approach, and she's very meticulous in what she does. I think I'm pretty much all over the place. So when she's around, I know that things are done. And when I'm there, I know that there will be 5 things that I'm thinking about and nothing is done yet.
Okay, so coming to this last question, message for Ace.
Oh, we're super excited to be at Aztec, and we're looking forward to all the new materials that I think you guys keep doing every year. And I know this year is also going to be a big one. So we can't wait to be there in November and check out everything.
Yeah, I remember we came back in 2008 and 2010 was the first time we visited Aztec. And I remember then that we used to come and stand in the line and register ourselves and like, no, we have to get into Aztec. And we're just proud to be there year after year and be associated with Aztec and just see how it has grown. It has made such a difference to all the partners who have associated with Aztec. It's the stalls are getting bigger and bigger, and the kind of materials that people are putting out there with innovations are is excellent. And I think it's just with there are a lot of allied events that Aztec is doing, which is just makes interaction with the fraternity, people from around the country who visit. It's just a nice place to sort of network and also to learn something new about what is there. And I think, yeah, and best time to get our clients and say, come to Aztec, you get everything.
Oh, that's awesome. Well, thank you so much, Shilpa. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Buggy.
Really appreciate your time, and I hope you guys enjoyed.
Yes,
Yeah,
thank you so
thank
much.
you
It's
so
been a
much.
lovely chat. So it was fun.
Thank you everyone for watching, and we're gonna see you in our next episode.